Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Frank, and behind me is my new Cat 311B excavator. Now this is a little bit newer than the stuff I'm typically working on. Normally we've got old cranes and cable shovels and stuff like that. But I had my John Deere 35C up for trade so I could get a bigger excavator, and I ended up having a bunch of people wanting to know the cash price. So I ended up getting a good buck out of that 35, and then I was looking for a replacement excavator. Now I do have the hi-ho, but I wanted something a little bit newer, something easier to get parts for. Just want to get in it, run it. Don't want to be working on it all the time. This might not be the machine for that, but we're gonna find out. So I came across this machine on Machinery Trader. Originally had a hammer with it. I ended up not getting the hammer. Why don't you guess what I paid for this down in the comments below. So let's do a little walk around. It's absolutely filthy. Lower front windows missing. The grab bar on this side of the cab is gone. The lights don't work. Undercarriage seems to be in pretty good shape. I did notice a few loose track pads, but this machine probably won't do a whole lot of traveling. Good sprockets. Let's see, we got a couple hydraulic leaks. Got some dents in this side, but it's kind of straight. Cab is filthy. We're going to clean this all out here soon. There's 10,834 hours. I don't believe the meter's working. We'll fire right up. Everything seems to work on the cluster there. The fuel gauge works and all that. The throttle, we have an occasional issue with. It won't throttle up or shut down. Radio does not work. AC does not work. So we've got some electrical issues. Got a broken window in the door. The store's a little sticky. We got some dents down here. We got two newer batteries, and they're about 6 months old. Got our battery disconnect, our air filter. Everything over here looks fairly decent. So we got to do a bunch of cleaning on this thing to really assess it. Counterweight, we got some dents in it. Looks like maybe pushing against it with a machine. I think I know why, so I'll show you guys that here in a minute. Over on this side, we're a little rougher. We got a bunch of dirt in here. I use this machine to dig shale. Here's our motor for the throttle and shutdown. We got some goofy wiring going on. Tracks are in similar condition on this side. One boom cylinder leaking pretty good. See, this machine is just filthy. I didn't see any welds or cracks on the boom or on the stick. Yeah, the auxiliary hydraulic lines, the steel lines, they're bent up and braced together, welded back together. Same thing down here. We've got a 36-inch bucket. All the pins and bushings are fairly tight on this machine. Bucket's not horrible. We do need a couple teeth. Dipstick is bent over for the swing gearbox. Pop the hood. We're full of antifreeze. The engine oil was low. I did top that off. Yeah, we got some Mickey Mouse muffler here. Gonna order the correct muffler that's real cheap. I don't understand why they went through all this effort to make this thing. I think a muffler's 150 bucks. We do have a broken bolt in the turbo. See about that. I do have some filters ordered for this. Bucket teeth and some hand tools in here. We'll go through this box here in a bit. So this is the throttle issue. It won't throttle up or shut down. Pretty tight machine for 11,000 hours. The other issue we have here is that it'll go forward and backward if you move both pedals, but when you try to turn, it'll just tension up the track. It won't actually move. So I think that's in the swivel. So as soon as you go both pedals one direction or the other, it tracks normally. We got her going. Nope. There we go. Got it working now. We're just going to cut this off so we don't burn to the ground. Oh, another thing I wanted to add, any cat machine that says Riga on it, that's an import. It's gray market. So, and if you look in the inside of the machine, we got Japanese writing everywhere. I picked up the skeleton bucket at the auction. From what I hear, this isn't a great brand, but this will save me some work from having to build one. It's labeled for a 315, but that appears to be incorrect. I measured the pin size and the spacing, and this will fit this 311. So the auction company was smart enough. I guess they've had issues with this before, but they did list this for a 314. So this is a 45-inch bucket. That's a 36 that's on there. And then let me show you what else I picked up. I ended up getting another 36-inch bucket, and then this 18-inch bucket. These already have pins on them too. This one's missing all the teeth, but this one's just missing a side cutter. This looks like a pretty nice bucket. But this spacing is right. This looks like it's pretty well made. And then I go over here, show you what else I got. I picked up this ripper. I thought this will be good for stumps and picking out rocks. Now this is actually for a 315 size machine, so the spacing is not correct and the pin size is not correct. But I think I can make that work. I did do a little power washing on this. I got more to do in this back corner. And then undercarriage, it did get somewhat clean. I just tracked it up to the top of the property, so we got a bunch of loose dirt in here. Had to load out some rocks in a buddy's dump trailer. So probably a few more times with the Hotsy, I'll have this thing looking somewhat better. I didn't clean out the cab yet. I was gonna work on that right now. Yep. No, buddy. This seems a bit excessive for cab dirt. So I really got to do some scrubbing to detail this, but it's a lot better than it was. There's no huge hump in the floor. We got probably a 5-gallon bucket of dirt out of there. I got the hour meter fixed. You can see that little indicator in the middle there, that's spinning. That's how you know that they're working. It was just unplugged back here. Not sure how long that was like that, but we're at 10,834 hours. I've probably put a couple hours on it since I've had it. But at least now we can keep track of maintenance and stuff. I was gonna rebuild these cylinders, but I got a guy coming for some rocks. So I want to take off that digging bucket and try to put on this skeleton bucket tonight. So I'm going to finish putting all these screws in this panel and then work on changing that bucket. So I got these bolts out on these ears, and all I got to do is drive the pins out. And I can kind of oil this around, get this lined up just right. So I'm going to grease this real quick. For those of you who don't know, this is a skeleton bucket. This is good for sorting rocks out of material. You can see I've got a lot of rock in my material. Taking care of a couple of the hydraulic leaks on the 311. I got one boom cylinder and the stick cylinder. You got this locking ring, goes in this hole, holds the gland in. Got that loose. I got the grease line off of right here. I'm going to take these two bolts out. And then I got the lines off the bottom of the cylinder. My plan is to run a chain fall off the steel line to this sling, and we can lower it down and rest it on this block of wood that I have resting on the bucket. And then we'll slide the rod out of the cylinder, put new seals in it, and stick it back together. Boop. Caught it. I got it. I had to put the backhoe on it. I ended up putting a little bit of heat on this too. Just Loctite that back on. There's the piston, some seal material, this guy. Yeah. Pretty pooched. Got all the seals replaced on the boom cylinder. I just gotta tighten this nut down a little bit more. I put some Loctite on it, and we'll see about sticking it back in the barrel. I'm a little worried I'm going to cut some of the backing rings here. They're a little loose in there. So, see what we can do. click. Well, figures I didn't have it recording, but got it lubed up good. Let me know if it leaks. Got the wrong seal kit for the stick cylinder. So I'm gonna go through this toolbox and then probably work on changing out the swivel seals, which hopefully will fix my travel issue. So let's see what we got in there. I got some hand tools. Looks like a butter bar for the bucket. It's actually pretty cool design. I've never seen one like this. Looks like these all fit together, and you just got to pin them onto the teeth. Should be 5 of them. There's 2. Another wrench, strap wrench. These are, I think, the O-rings for sides of the stick where they meet the bucket. They help keep the grease in, the dirt out. Old jackhammer bit. There's another plate, there's 3. There's another plate, there's 4. There's a 5th one here with a nut in it. We got a cat pin tool. So what this does is, here's one of the pins, and here's the keeper. So you drive this through. This goes between the shank and the tooth. And then this little groove here locks into this. And that's what keeps the pin from coming out. Hammer's seen better days. Looks like a collar for the outside of a pin on a bucket. Shim. Couple more wrenches. There's a good bucket tooth. Got a worn one. There's another good one. That one's new. Looks like an extension for looks like a breaker bar for a socket. plastic caps. Probably knock out some of these dents. Ow! We're gonna need a little more than this. Poor camera. You can see how these fit together. This would be your butter bar in place of the teeth. Never seen anything like this. This is pretty cool. So in the sides of these shanks is a recess. And that's where that piece goes. And then you take this and you drive this through. And then this will lock into this groove here. There, maybe this one's. So that'll go in there, and the tooth goes over that, and you drive that through, and that's what'll hold the teeth on. There's a couple other styles too. So I think I'll probably put these plates on this bucket, and then I'll put all the teeth on the other one. So then I'll have like a grading bucket, and then the other one can be a digging bucket. And then up here, this is what I was talking about with those bucket shims. This is a floating bushing. So then you remove these shims and slide this over to tighten up the bucket to the stick. These big O-rings, they sit like that. Keep the dirt out and the grease in. So there'd be one on each side. These are a little tricky to put on. Usually I see guys, they'll lay them like this and then shove the stick down in between, and it works out just right sometimes. Haven't done it yet, but I guess I'll be trying it here soon. I'm going to work on removing this swivel. We've got 6 lines to remove, a rubber boot, and this mounting plate on top here. And then we've got 6 hoses on the bottom, and 5 mounting bolts down there. And we got to remove the fittings because this has to come out through the top. That one's loose. That's loose. Got everything unhooked on top except for the bolts that hold the rubber gasket around the swivel. So we'll hop down below and knock all those fittings loose. And then hopefully we can get it out of here. Get it resealed. Got some cardboard down to lay on. here's what we're working with on the bottom. So then we got 5 bolts holding it in, and 8 hoses down here. Removed all the fittings from the side of the swivel so that it'll fit up through that hole. 5 mounting bolts are out. I just gotta go to the top side and remove the bolts for the seal. Got the swivel out. Wasn't too bad. It's a little awkward getting it out of there, but should not turn this easy. So seals are gonna definitely be shot. Hopefully the wear inside this barrel isn't that bad. Maybe just a hone, clean it up. I'm gonna power wash it and then disassemble. Need longer fingers. That's all of it. Everything looks really good in here. I was worried about this being all scored up and junk, but we're in good shape, I think. So it'll be fun trying to push this in. So I got this cleaned up. I buffed these areas where the seal rides a little bit, but didn't really need it. I'm gonna start putting some oil down here. I'm using Lucas. It's actually pretty slippery. Oh. I think we're all the way in there now. There's no chunks of seals coming out the bottom, so I think we got it. I guess I can kind of check it with the air gun here and see if we get... I should have did this before. I should have did that before I took this apart, was check, blow into these ports and see if it came out these other ones. Because I guarantee it did with no seals in it. I got it all cleaned up down there. A little bit of RTV around where this seals. Got the forklift rigged up with a chain fall. Well, this isn't that heavy, about 65, 70 pounds. It is a little awkward to get down in there. So I'm gonna lower it in with the chain fall, and then hopefully everything goes nice and smooth. Let's try getting this down. All right, I'm gonna go underneath and see if I can get some of them bolts started. One of these little guys here. These are hydraulic line wrenches. They're thin and they're good for getting in tight spots. When you tighten these, you want to make sure too that they're not rubbing on anything, because you might need to twist the fitting a little bit. Pretty much this you can orient any way you need to. There's an O-ring that you smash up against the housing with this nut and washer. Cramping up. Just want to kind of try to fit this stuff up, because this one hose was kinked a little bit down here. I like that, like that. Seems pretty good. So that's it for the bottom. So other than where this is located, this really isn't that bad of a job. Now, come on, get down there. There we go. I was watching Buddy Sam's video earlier, and you know, sometimes you don't always think of stuff like this, and he's like making sure whatever you put on seals and stuff is compatible, and he makes a good point. You know, this is rubber here, you don't want to put anything petroleum on it. So I got some silicone paste, pretty much dielectric grease. I put that on there. So that should do the trick. And then we got this little backing plate to clamp it down, keep everything sealed up. That goes on there like that. All right, I think I got it. Got the hydraulic oil topped off. Let's see where we're at. Hopefully all our problems are fixed now. Gonna fire it up and run it through the functions. You guys can watch the oil level go down. take it for a little spin. What are we in here? Iron Rabbit. Let's go into... Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it travels like it's supposed to. So it seems like it's working pretty good. I think that cylinder up top looks dry. I'll have to grease that fitting again. I don't see any oil pouring out from underneath on the cardboard. Let's take a look up here. That's just residual oil down there. I'll have to power wash that out. Gotta do something with this hose. It jams up against the back here. It's almost like it's a little too long. Let's check our hydraulic fluid. We're good there. So, I gotta check this boom cylinder. That looks all right. That's just a little bit from when I assembled it. That's that Lucas I was using. So next, we're going to do a service on it. We're going to change the oil, the fuel filter, the pilot filter. We're going to check the oil in the final drives. Swing gearbox, the oil probably should be changed too. We're going to keep washing this, try to get it a little cleaner. And then I got some missing clamps. There's one there, there's one up on that cylinder there. I think there's one somewhere else. I think there's like 3 missing clamps. And maybe we'll see about making some new auxiliary lines. We're gonna need them for something I got coming. If you guys can guess what it is, why don't you let me know down in the comments. Actually, it's 2 things. You guys can let me know what 2 things are coming for this. We're gonna put some lights on it. Air conditioning and heat we're gonna get working. Maybe the radio. Our hour meter's still working. Everything seems to be working like it should. I think I got a decent deal on this. We're also gonna do a little bit of body work. Pull some of these dents out. I did pull on this side a little bit. And I did pull the step out a tiny bit. I gotta do some more work on that. I was gonna get hurt trying to climb up and down on what was there before. So I think we got ourselves a really good machine so far. It's usable right now. With the travel issue and it pouring oil out like how it was, I couldn't really use it too much. Little dumb stuff like this, like bent hydraulic lines, these are getting a little crusty, so all these are going to need replaced. And a lower front window. So I don't know, maybe another grand or two, and machine should be 100%. So last thing I want to do for this video is do a service. So I've got a bunch of filters. We're going to work on going through all the fluids on it. We're going to do fuel filters, air filter, hydraulic filter, check the final drives and change the oil in them, and probably do the swing box gear oil as well. So let's start over here with the air filter. I know this is missing the safety filter, which is the inner one. So here's our new filters. Just got a couple clips, just pop off. And then here's the old outer filter. That's your main filter. You can blow this out a number of times. That one's pretty filthy. What we got here is the inner safety filter. That shows in the middle there. And then your primary air filter goes along the outside. I'm gonna write the date and the hours on it. So we have 10,841 hours, and we are 7/12/25. Oh, we'll do that on all the filters. There's your dirt ejector, dust ejector. Be all right. I did warm the machine up. Wanted to pull these panels anyway. I guess I should probably leave this open down here, that I could power wash all this out. We got a drain valve here. I did warm the engine up. Ooh. I think this takes 3 gallons and change. Pretty black. While it's draining, let's go over to here. Got a water separator. I did drain that the other day. And then I believe this is our pilot filter. A new O-ring, and here's our new filter. Got it. Do the same thing with this filter. We'll pre-fill it. Got our fuel filter, engine oil filter. Yep, we got it. Didn't take much at all. Oh. Appears we're gonna make a mess. Can't pre-fill it, it's upside down. Going the wrong way, egghead. No gasket on the bottom stock. Now I'm going to loosen this bleeder, and we have a primer pump right down here. So just got to unscrew that. Whew, don't lean there, it's hot. Now we're going to pump this until we see fuel shoot out of here. There we go. I can snug that back up. I got the engine oil topped off. Gonna work on doing this return hydraulic filter. Oh boy. We're making a mess. 1, read the book. 2, do what's next. Remove plug to release filter pressure. Yeah, there was quite a bit of pressure there. Rotate filter. Pick up. Pick up and rotate clockwise. It doesn't want to do that. 2. Grab the handle. Pull it up. Yeah, it needs to come up more. I see now. It's got to come up. There we go. Now we can turn it. Come on. Turn. There we go. Now we can pull it out. Oh, man. That was tough. It says to remove this ring. Oh, there we go. See a bunch of bits of seal. Alright, I think we're clean enough. Beautiful. There we go. Spiral ringy ding. That. There we go. Just plug back in. I don't know, I guess I'll just squish it down with the cap. This is probably not the way to do this. I'm sure somebody is yelling at me right now. Probably a good thing I'm washing this thing again because I just made a hell of a mess. Fire it up and we'll check oil. Uh-oh. Got a little air in it. There we go. Nothing leaking over here other than what we spilled, I think. I did pull a couple more of these pans off so I could really get clean and underneath it. Get these final drives to where I could check them. We want these two plugs vertical, the level plug at 3 o'clock. This one's got to go a little bit. I guess let's remove the fill first. Oh yeah, that's a win. Let's see if we can remove. Nope. Well, we got that at least. Oh, geez. That's not chunky, that's good. It smells like gear oil. I thought these were gonna have 30 weight in them. Oh no, it fell over again. Why didn't you guys tell me? Woo, this is hot. There we go. It just needs some harder hits. Now I'm just gonna put gear oil back in it. All filled up. Hopefully we don't see anything bad on the other side. Oh, so I'm under the back of the machine. That drain right there, that's for the swing gearbox. Let's get that drained out. And then oil don't look too bad. All right, that's good. So just got the dipstick pulled on the swing drive. We're just gonna put 30 weight in it. Guess it takes about a gallon. So that's the last bit of service I wanted to do on this machine. I guess, wow, that trackpad's really bad. Would you look at this? She's a little bent. Got a little wadded up there, I guess, on something. But I guess I'll take it over in the dirt, show you guys how it works, and then we're gonna call this a video. There's still some other stuff to do, and don't forget to leave a comment on what you think the next video is going to be on this machine. I got 2 special things coming for this, and I think it's gonna really make this machine pretty useful for me. Let me know also if you want like another video on this machine. You know, we still got a bunch of little stuff to do, some hoses, the lower front glass, getting the AC working again, maybe the radio, exhaust. I got to straighten out some of the body stuff, maybe get that rear door back on. But as of right now, this machine's 100% serviced, and we have no issues with it. I've been running around a little bit and using it. Probably put about 7 hours on it. We're gonna put lights on it. So let me know what you guys want to see in the future. I forgot to do this when I first got the machine, and I did the intro to this video, but here's a couple clips of our friend Cody moving this machine for me. You can check out his channel at Abrams Excavating. So if you guys like that video, make sure you come back for the next one. And don't forget to comment on what you think I got coming for this machine.